Jim Green has entered the mock toe game with their Meander and Workhorse models. This here is the Jim Green Workhorse mock toe in the color Fudge. These are genuine moccasin construction, which we'll talk about a little bit later. They're made with a double layer, 2.2 millimeter of nubuck leather lined with 1.6 millimeter of calf leather. They have a fully gusseted tongue, they are Blake stitched, and this particular model uses the Jim Green tire wedge sole, which I'm a huge fan of. They have a steel shank, a leather midsole, and a resin runner. Now, I want to talk a little bit more about moccasin construction because that's kind of the thing that everybody's really excited about with these boots and what makes them so unique. So if you didn't know, a moccasin construction is basically your foot is wrapped like this in leather, right? So it comes up along the bottom. Of course, that leaves a whole bunch of leather at the top that needs to be gathered. So what they do with that extra leather in the moccasin toe construction is they actually have what's called an apron. Sometimes they call it different things, but that's basically this toe piece here, and then they sew it together with this welt. Now that moccasin construction makes for a very flexible boot, and that's the big thing that people like about that style. That tire wedge sole is awesome. This is one of my favorite soles that Jim Green makes, but the one issue that I had, and I didn't realize until later on, is that the fact that these things are so closely trimmed is actually a bit of a negative sometimes. All right, let me give you an example. I'm out here working on my truck and I'm kneeling down on the concrete. And the first thing that I feel is my toe on the concrete wearing these Jim Greens. So, you know, that's not a big deal, but this is kind of an example of what I'm talking about. That being said, I don't really feel like these are work boots. I don't think that you'd see this on the job site very much, especially here in the US. Now for the fit, Jim Green actually developed a special last for these boots, which is a combination of their JG last combined with the toe height of their STC last. I found them to fit about true to size, but of course you get that little extra room in the toe box like you would with any moccasin toe boot. One of the things that I want to commend Jim Green on is the way that they've been able to apply their stamp. Some people don't like the frog on the back. Personally, I love it. I wear my Jim Greens with pride. I want people to know that I have this pair of boots. The name of that frog is Jim Green. That is Jim Green. Did you know that? So whether you choose the Meander or the Workhorse, I think you're gonna be very, very happy